As far as the custody conciliator, mediator, and divorce master, those were all roles that I fulfilled by appointment of the judges of the Court of Common Pleas of Lebanon County, where they would appoint me to a case and I would work either to conciliate a custody matter or to mediate a custody matter, which involves a little bit more intense dealing with the litigants, and you have to be certified to do that. And I also served as a divorce master, where I would hear cases and decide how people's property would be divided, if alimony would be awarded in their divorce. So I worked on those jobs for 14 years until those state rules changed and I had to resign in order to continue practicing law. I also served as the standing Guardian Ad Litem for the County of Lebanon from 1991 to about 2018, for about 25 years. I represented all the children who were abused and neglected and were involved in the legal process through Lebanon County Children and Youth Services. So when they're involved in that process, they get representation. They would get me. And so I would represent children from as young as a few days old all the way up to when they were 21, because they were allowed to stay in the system through the age of 21. And I have to tell you that I represented some children from the time they were born all the way to the time they were 21. I felt like they were almost my own children. In my volunteer work that I've done in this community, I did institute a custody clinic in Lebanon County, which I started in 1991 for low-income residents, to give them access and information on the legal system, because it's amazing how people really don't know really anything about the law. Now, these days you can Google some things and learn a little bit more, but it still shocks me sometimes when I do those clinics how very little information people have. I started this clinic in 1991, I still run it, and I help provide access to custody information to people who are starting to or going through the custody process. I served on the board of directors for domestic violence intervention for about 6 years. I was the vice president of that organization. Obviously that was something that was important to me because of the issue that domestic violence has in the role of women's lives and in their families. When I first started practicing, I did prosecute all the protection from abuse actions in this county. So I was intimately familiar with how the abuse cycle works and how hard it is to release yourself from that. I also have served on the board of directors of SARC. I was most recently president of that board. I'm now the immediate past president, so I'm finished with that role, but I'm still on the board. And I've been on that board for maybe 10 years. Another thing that I feel is extremely important, because again, sexual assault affects the family relationships and how people are able to deal with their partners and their children and raising children and all the things that affect family and family law, which is what I mostly do. We went around to all different counties and looked at the systems that other counties had in place, and then we started our own. Like I said, that was way back in 1991. I did win an award for that through the Pennsylvania Bar Association for doing that work. So that is something that's been really important to me, to make sure that people have access to just knowledge. And the other thing that people can do, because Mid-Penn has income restrictions, but we do have a county bar association that can also refer people. I mean, I feel like I'm just putting my head down, going through my day-to-day, doing my job, and trying to do the best work that I can, and make sure that this county, particularly Lebanon County, because I love it so much, make it a better place to be, and hopefully progress it so that we have more access to legal systems, we have more equality here, and that people are able to really have a voice. I've been named as a Pennsylvania super lawyer 14 times. It wasn't a once and done. It's been consistently that I've been named that, and that's a recognition by your peers that you're an excellent attorney. And so that really does mean something to me, because of the fact it's not a popularity contest.